Hey guys, Clueless Crafts here, and we're back again for another Create This Book episode. If you haven't seen the first one, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's get started. Now, the first page of the book I want to do is the Create a Rule page. Create a rule for yourself and follow it on each page of this book, unless it conflicts with the instructions. Write your rule in the box provided. Alright, so let's make a rule. For my rule, I wanted to make me happy every time I used it. So I decided my rule would be that I draw a smile on every page. A nice easy reminder to myself to be happy and grateful whenever I'm drawing or painting or anything else like that. I kept the actual drawing of my rule pretty simple since I didn't want to invest too much into it since I was way too excited to fill out some of the other pages. But I also didn't want any page left empty, so I thought adding a few examples of some of the future smiles you might see would be interesting. Some of these smiles turned out pretty weird, especially that one, but I liked how they all looked together. And once everything is glued down, my rule is now complete and I can move on to some real fun stuff. And I think this page turned out alright. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Our next page is going to be create a page of garbage. Draw, photograph, write, or attach a bunch of items that you regularly throw out in the garbage. I don't know about regularly throw out, but I definitely have a vision for this page. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so as for my vision for this page, all I could think about was when I was little and I watched SpongeBob like my life depended on it. I would always look forward to the episodes that they would visit the dump. I don't exactly know why, but it's just the way they were drawn. The exaggerated piles, the visual stink, the random objects scattered everywhere. That's what I wanted my garbage to embody. I drew the general shapes of the piles first, then I went in with some crappy watercolor and I filled everything in. Now, I don't know if it's the watercolor paints I use that are to blame or if it's myself, but the application was rough and I felt really out of practice. I mean, I guess it also doesn't help that the watercolor paints came in a tube and I had to squeeze them out onto a plate, and getting that right water to paint ratio is just not working with this. I'm gonna have to invest in an actual watercolor palette so it's easier to paint and easier to apply. I guess I can take this as a hint to try out new things more often. I still wanted my garbage dump to be personalized with the objects that I tend to throw away, so I added some food waste like bananas and apples, plenty of garbage bags, a bunch of cans that, like food and pasta comes in. There's a pair of shoes in there, funny story. I had them for I think 7 years now, and I wore them down so much that they no longer have heels. Technically, I didn't throw those shoes away yet because 1, I don't have gardening shoes and I don't want to get nicer shoes dirty, and 2, I don't like throwing things away that could still be used, even if those things are now painful and uncomfortable to wear. You know what? I should probably actually throw those away. For real. Tomorrow, if I remember. Anyway, I also drew a lamp since my cat knocked over one last week and it shattered all over the floor. That was a fun day. Oh, and I also can't forget to add a smile to every page. So I added this creepy looking doll rotting on top of a stinky pile. I don't actually own a doll, nor have I ever thrown one away, but I just couldn't resist adding one to the top, making it my little cherry on top of my rotting, flaming garbage heap. Now everything just needs to be colored in, including some shading for the piles and what I assume are very strong scents floating up from them. And just like that, my personal garbage dump has come to life. Alright, the garbage is now done, and I think it turned out pretty cool. But I think for the next one, I'm just going to pick it at random, so let's see. Alright, random. Nope, that doesn't count. Random page, come on. Okay, I can use this. Lines. Make a design using only straight lines. Okay, right away, I know I don't want to follow my rule and draw a smile, since that won't fit into any design I want with straight lines. I still wanted it to have some movement and not look like just a bunch of lines. So I thought I would make it into like a spiral shape because, you know, when you think of straight lines, you think of spirals. Come on. Anyway, I just picked a corner and went right to work. I didn't even bother with a pencil because I didn't want to do twice the work erasing all those lines and redrawing them. But this does mean that if I mess up, there's no going back. But that was a risk I was willing to take. I was confident I could do it perfectly. Do you have any predictions? Let me give you a hint. No one's perfect. Now you can see here, this is where I drew my lines based off the wrong leading line, so the corner looks a bit messed up. I realized as I was doing it, but I figured that I should commit to it instead of making a huge mess out of everything by trying to fix it. Now I just gotta finish drawing these. So many lines and so many smudges. Dumb ruler smudging my marker pages. Or more likely, dumb me for rubbing my ruler against the paper. But I finally reached the center and my design is looking, well, I mean, not really like a spiral, but it has movement. And I think it turned out not boring, so I'm happy about it. It was so much work though. I'm tired. Okay, almost done. The last page we're gonna do today is the create a test. Test the difference between your right and left hand. It's strange, but I've never tested the difference between my left and right hand before. I am right-handed, so we'll see what my left hand can do. Okay, so for this test, I picked something I thought would be a good baseline to compare to, which is just a basic drawing of a girl. I'm sure everyone who has picked up a pencil has tried to draw a face or is guilty of drawing eyes over and over again. I know I am. If anything, this test is showing me how rusty I am at drawing. I used to be way better in high school, but going from drawing almost every day to almost never is not the way to improve. There's a reason they say practice makes perfect. But that's another reason why I'm so happy to have this book to fill out. I need all the practice I can get. And I had a lot of trouble with this girl not looking how I wanted her to, and trying to make small changes didn't work, so I basically just had to accept her for how she is. Man, if only I were able to accept me for who I am. I mean, just look at her neck. I swear it looked normal when I was drawing it. I don't know how it ended up that long. Anyway, let's see what my left hand can do. Right away, I'm shaky and amazed at how hard it is to hold a pencil with my left hand. But I continue, for this bad drawing is not going to create itself. I tried to get all the basics down first since I wasn't going to bother with shading until it actually started to look like something. And the lips, man, the lips. I tried, but this was the best I could do. I also tried to make the neck a little bit shorter, but it's still on the long side. Not sure what it is with me and long necks. I must have been a giraffe in a previous life or something. Now finally, we are getting to the finishing details, and I'm kind of surprised with how well it turned out for never drawing with my left hand before. I almost prefer the left face over the right face, simply because it's softer, like less harsh looking. It's definitely an interesting test. I'm happy I did it. Alright, and we are complete. Kind of looks like a mugshot, but what you gonna do? Alright, but that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like or comment down below. But other than that, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye!